Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Mercenaries reveal video preview thing. So this one's actually probably one of the most exciting of the bunch, and fellow Mercenaries creator and PvE master Old Guardian actually got to do a little surprise reveal for Nagas. I know a lot of us were expecting Nagas to tie into the Sunken City theme, and we hadn't gotten any yet, so people were wondering, are we getting Nagas? Are we not getting Nagas? Well, it turns out we are getting them, and we are getting 6 of them. That's huge. That is a ton of Nagas. So we're getting the Queen herself, as well as 5 other Nagas, and not only are we, finding out that we're getting these 6 Nagas, we actually get all of the revealed information of them ahead of the patch. So we know what these characters do, unlike all the other previews, and the Nagas are looking pretty sweet, let me tell you. So I'm really excited for this tribe. It, I think, delivers on what Nagas kind of do in other formats in an interesting way. They all seem to have different, spell schools, so they can support a different variety of tribes while also having their own tribal synergy for being Nagas. So I think there's a ton of potential with these mercenaries. I'm not going to go through every one of them right now because I want you to go check out the Old Guardian reveal video. It's important to support these types of things so that way they see this is, a worthwhile effort over at Blizzard, and we'll do more of this stuff in the future. So it's a great way to support the Mercenaries community. I will leave a link in the description where you can check out his video and see all the information. I am going to look over just one of the Mercenaries here, the Queen herself, because I'm really excited about this one, and then I'll let you go check out the rest over there. And of course, the patch notes will be coming out tomorrow, so you can expect a rundown of all the abilities for all the characters I've been putting up the previews for over the weekend tomorrow. And then we get to open our packs and mess around with them on Wednesday. So very, very much looking forward to that. But without further ado, let us take a look at Queen Azshara, Legendary Caster Mercenary. So Queen Azshara, Legendary Caster, her abilities: Shifting Tides, Arcane, Speed 10, deal 18 damage. Damage increased by +3 for each spell school cast this game. That's pretty crazy. Obviously, it's very, very slow, but we already have some powerful arcane synergy with Longjin and Tyrande. So the fact, and then you can boost this by having other spell schools, which, she and a bunch of the other Naga can do. This seems really, really sweet, even though it is a very slow ability. Then we have Mage Paramount, another arcane ability here. Speed 0, so kind of the opposite direction. Cooldown 1. Gain +3 spell damage. Whenever an enemy casts a spell, +4 resist to its spell school this turn. So, this is really quite fascinating because this is our first instance of pure spell damage. We haven't seen that before. We've seen arcane damage, we've seen fire damage, we've seen these different specific schools buffed, but we've never seen a universal, just flat to all spell damage. And then on top of that, it's not even just a buff at 0 speed. It's whenever an enemy casts a spell, you get a big amount of spell resist to its spell school for that turn. So it can kind of, I imagine that wouldn't go off before they hit with that, but if your opponent is focused on one particular spell school, this can be kind of a way to tech around that a little bit, which is really interesting, while at the same time kind of buffing your own spells. So that's really cool. And then we have Vainglorious Rebuke. Shadow, Speed 3, Cooldown 1. Deal 10 damage to all enemies. Damage is increased by the final speed. This ability gets 2 speeds slower this turn whenever another ability is used. Now, some really crazy wording there because that does not say friendly. So anytime any opponent goes off, obviously they have to go off kind of quickly because we're starting at 3 speed on this one, but they're between Valera and other fast things. It's not exactly uncommon, and you could also do it yourself with fast abilities. So you can buff this up by damage by whatever your final speed is. So if you don't do anything at all to slow it down, I guess it gets buffed by 3, so it goes from 10 to 13. But if you do have a way to slow this down, and it naturally can get itself slowed down, you can add quite a bit of damage on top of that. And it's also shadow, so that's another aspect where you can combo it. It's also pretty gross with Vol'jin, 0 speed there, even though that's, I guess, a little bit of Nambo synergy there. But there is another Naga who's all about slowing shadow abilities for yourself and your opponent, so that could be synergistic. And then looking at the equipments here, we have Zal Ata, passive. Whenever you cast a shadow ability, restore 6 health to your characters. So basically Shadow Malfurion, which is pretty busted. That sounds pretty busted. Then we have Tidestone of Golgawent. Passive, this merc has +1, +6 health for each Naga in play or on your bench. So +1 attack, +6 health for every other Naga. And counting the bench is crazy. Like, we've already seen just that +4/+4 from Kazakis, and before him Rexar was very powerful. The fact that you could, in theory, make a full Naga team and have just the most stacked up queen, like, that's awesome. It's also a great like flavor / lore win too, in my opinion. Nice synergy between the Nagas. And then last but not least for equipment, we have Sharsfall Queen's Scepter, another passive. The first time this merc dies, steal 6 health from all characters in play and return to life. That's really cool. This is, I mean, obviously we did have a kind of death rattle resurrect effect with Karen, but I think this is a much more interesting and unique take on that. And we've only had that in Karen, so we've never kind of gotten to see how that could work on another mercenary. So I think all of these abilities and equipments are awesome. Everything I've seen so far about the Nagas has got me pretty excited for them, and they're going to do a good job in supporting a decent amount of other strategies as well. While the Queen here is focused on Arcane and Shadow, there are a bunch of other spell schools on different Nagas, from Nature to Fel to Shadow and Frost even. So there are a ton. So it's going to support a bunch of different tribes while also supporting themselves. I think it's a really cool mechanic. Again, I'll have the link below if you want to check out the rest of them, and I'll be going over all of the mercenaries and all the details with them tomorrow when the patch notes come out. But just wanted to get this one out there. Really hyped for this. Congrats to Old Guardian. Definitely deserved the reveal there. Super hyped to see some community engagement there. And it's just been a really great weekend with the previews. So props to Alkali for turning it around for the Mercenaries reveals, because I went from being not very excited about having to wait and hear nothing for 4 days to having a lot of fun talking with the community and thinking of all these kind of ideas for these new characters that we know are coming, who are very iconic from, Hearthstone and WoW lore. So that is going to do it for this one, though. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.